Welcome back. As you can see, I'm here once again in the grow room. We've got a little ambient music going there in the background. I'll make sure to include the link to the song below. Why do people overreact? Why do you overreact? Why do I overreact? Before I start this video, go any deeper, I want to remind you to not believe a word I say. Everything that I talk about, I've seen for myself. Everything that I say in these videos, that I write on my posts on Instagram, unless I put underneath, the name of the person who quoted it, comes from my own experience, my own vision, I've seen these things through meditation. These are all things I've come to see for myself. Know thyself. When you go to school, you're taught subjects, math, English, social studies we used to call it. I think it's something different now. History. There are all kinds of subjects. But the most important one is missing. The study of the self. And anything you want to know, it doesn't matter what it is. Any urge you have in you, anything that you'd like to have a greater understanding on, can be found inside. All of it. But they don't want you to know that. So they teach you to seek fulfillment outside of yourself, in the world, to compete with everyone. And this relates 100% to the title of this video, to this talk. This teaching, if you want to call it. Why we all react. Why do people overreact? If I come behind you and I pinch you, you're probably going to have a very sudden and quick reaction to that pain. If someone was to yell really loudly in your ear, you may have a very quick reaction. And that makes sense. You are perceived as being attacked, so therefore your reaction is either to run or to hide. Fight or flight. There's a deep sense of wanting to preserve your life. And this is built into not only every human being, but every animal. Everything in life wants to preserve itself, including the ego, the mind. So how does this fit into the video? Everything that you've been taught from the beginning of your life till now ties into what you believe will bring you to a certain state of happiness and to what you think you need in order to feel fulfilled in your life And there's this direction of you reaching for that. And if you overreact, anytime someone overreacts to any situation in their life, it has to do with some form of uncomfortableness. Now, I'll give you many examples here. Let's really get deep into this, because you need to really understand this from many different aspects, points of views, to really grasp what I'm trying to get across here. It might take some time for it to sink in, and you may need to meditate on this for yourself, to find out for yourself, which is what I really encourage you to do. If you're hungry, it's common that you hear people say, "Oh, you're hangry. Oh, I'm hangry." Your body senses that it's hungry, and you notice sometimes when you're hungry, you become more irritable, more cranky. Your safety is at jeopardy, so you overreact, even though there's food right in the fridge. If you stepped on a nail the day before yesterday, and each step you take, it's sore now and your toe hurts and it's irritating you, more likely you will overreact in other situations in your life. If you have some sort of disease, let's say you have irritable bowel syndrome, and there's a constant pain in your stomach, a cramp, or whatever you feel in that disease, dis-ease, you're not at ease, you're more likely to overreact in any situation. In the physical sense, anything that you experience that's going to break your stream of comfort, which is what you taught you should be seeking from a young child, to build a secure life, anything that threatens that structure of comfort will tend to make a person spiritually unconscious, more and more asleep, deeper and deeper states of sleep. And not only on the physical sense, or level, but on the level of your mind as well. If people around you always criticize a certain style of clothing you wear, you're more likely to overreact in certain situations. If you don't feel right about how your hair looks, then you're more likely to overreact in certain situations. On the physical level, on the emotional level, mental level, whatever, how many you want to add here, anytime you feel uncomfortable, anytime that you feel you're being threatened, your safety, whether it be, and this is on every level, you need to understand it's on every level, even if it's a tiny, if you eat bad often and you have for a long period of time, and your body is in an unhealthy state, you can be rest assured you're going to overreact, not only because you don't feel good mentally about the way you look, but because your body is in dis-ease, not at ease. Any state of dis-ease you find yourself in, physically, emotionally, all of the things you can add here, you're more likely to overreact. Now, if you look at today's lifestyle, the typical lifestyle, the top 5 reasons for death: heart disease, and so on, are all habit generated, lifestyle generated. So our very way of life in modern society, modern life, creates a state of dis-ease, not at ease, within you. The very way you live creates a certain state of sleepiness, spiritual sleep in you. You become more susceptible to being manipulated. When you're slightly uncomfortable, even on the smallest level, and you overreact, in that moment of overreaction, you've lost your center. You've lost your ability to apply wisdom in the now. You may do a few actions that you may look back on in a few moments and say, I could have done that differently. And the more spiritually asleep you are, the longer it'll take for you to come to that point again where you say, wow, that really, I wasn't in the right state of mind there. I wasn't really myself. So why do people overreact? Because we have found a home in the ego. We have found a home in protecting a false self and upholding a fake image in front of other people. We're not comfortable with telling people things as they really are. We have too much fear of criticism. In fear of not fitting in or being isolated from the crowd, we disconnect ourselves from our true selves. In knowing that it's okay for you to experience the full spectrum and levels of comfort and discomfort, when you realize that as a human being, as a creature on this planet, in this shared universe, that feeling uncomfortable, being at dis-ease from time to time is okay. I'm not saying it's okay to kill yourself. I'm not saying it's healthy or a person should continue to do negative habits. I'm just saying if you find yourself in a position where it happens and you can't get a hold of it yourself, it's okay for you to feel that way inside yourself. It's okay for those thoughts of criticism and self-judgment to be there. It's okay to act on those thoughts and try to change yourself. It's okay to admit to yourself and to admit to others that in this moment, if you feel unwell, that it's okay to admit it to others. Everything you experience is a simple state of isness. And when you have no purpose, when you're not trying to uphold an image or show a tougher version of yourself, when you're not trying to be perfect in front of others and you're able to be vulnerable, these states of dis-ease lose their ability to have you overreact. Almost zero. Because the whole thing comes from you wanting to be perfect, but not. And not accepting it. If you can accept in your life that from time to time there will be pain, physical, emotional, and mental, you can maintain a clear state of mind, see the things in your life that, yes, I'm feeling the urge to overreact. And you can see clearly that your body is unhealthy. And when you say, it's okay that I've done this to myself, it's not going to do me any good to beat myself up. And when you can truly feel vulnerable in that moment and accept your ability to respond, accept your responsibility, that you know you can do something about it. When you accept your ability to respond to something that you've been doing to yourself, when you've been hurting yourself for so long and you're vulnerable in that moment, the potential for you to transform in that moment becomes infinite. When you're able to see things as they are, and you can learn to just be and accept yourself, all of yourself, all of your dirt, your positivity, your negativity. It's only then true change becomes possible. So why do people overreact? Not because they're unhealthy, not because they're in dis-ease, but because they think it's wrong to feel that way. And there's this idea that you're taught that you need to fit in to what everybody else is doing, and everyone is upholding a fake face today. Everyone is putting forward this image of that they've got it all together. When you can accept in yourself and the reality that sometimes you may have things together for the most part, and other times you don't, you learn to flow with life. What is. Stop fighting with life. Stop fighting with yourself. Allow the thoughts in your mind to be there. Detach from the personal nature of your situation. Learn to meditate on these things. And you will find a deeper truth underneath everything you've ever experienced in your life. As I said earlier at the beginning of the video, don't believe anything I say, please. All this is available to you if you look inside yourself. Wherever you are around the world, whatever time it is that you're watching this video, thank you. I appreciate you. Peace.